Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 1, Episode 6 of Heaven's Secret 2. It has finally been released. I am so excited. Okay. I want to see this. I'm so excited. Okay. The horseman of war's time has come. Okay. Shock me. Immoral can see someone's memories through their eyes. Careless intrusions can deliberately or accidentally ruin fragments of a memory, like scratching a film. Oh, and that's what they're doing to us right now, right? Simona, yes. I used to feel like I was running headlong towards something bigger, something right. But I don't seem to be running to something but away from it. Yes. Now, what does Plague's brother look like? Episode 6, Vaget. Plague rested her chin on her clasped hands and laughed. Still, it's wonderful that you came to me, little bird. I'm glad we became friends, especially now that my brother has arrived. Right, I'm just playing you little... Ooh. War, I know you there. Come in already. Huh? I turned around in horror. Right, we remember the picture from last episode. Shock me, come on. What does he look like? War stepped so close to Plague that she had to tilt her head back. He looked indifferently into her eyes, then at Malbonte. He didn't seem to notice me. What the... Okay, but he's fine. He is fine. Oh god. This game is gonna ruin me. It has already ruined me so many times that it's ridiculous. Well, hello, sister. We've been waiting for this for so long. War grinned, took a few steps back, and took another thoughtful, appraisingly look at Malbonte. He's completely indifferent. He's just like, why am I here? Come on, you don't have to lie to me, Malbonte. Did you make yourself comfortable here, little sister? Plague sat down at the table and lifted her chin contentedly. I've got everything under control, War, so you can relax. I don't think so. He saw me, right? Dropping his mask, the seemingly calm and cold-blooded horseman no longer looked that way. His face suddenly expressed a myriad of emotions. His voice sounded concerned. Is that so? You have focused too much on the personal suffering of the immortals and mortals. We need to act more decisively. Why is it so peaceful here? Did no one even try to fight you? That's your prerogative, brother. Plague spoke calmly, but her patience was clearly nearing its end. War began to walk around the office, talking as if alone with Plague. So can I leave? I couldn't take my eyes off him, compelled by my curiosity and fear. Or desire. You acted recklessly, allowing the old government to remain in the Citadel. He clenched his hand into a fist. We will overthrow them, crush them, and fill this world with wars and fire. Well, another nice one. Plague only rolled her eyes. I'm rolling my eyes on the both of you. That face. That expression is iconic. Do what you must, War. That's why you're here. War chuckled. He looked like a child anticipating a visit to an amusement park. Let there be war. Right now this only seems like dramatics to me. The following evening, Plague flew with her brother to the Citadel to take control. I'm so sorry. I watched as they went right past my window. Blake looked bored and unhappy. She clearly wanted to get the fighting over with as soon as possible. War's eyes burned with joy and enthusiasm. His muscles seemed to swell, preparing for a battle. He looked incredibly strong. Physically, and at the same time, an unshakable power emanated from within him. I tried not to think about the immortals, about my comrades in arms, who remained within the walls of the Citadel. They abandoned me. I need to think about myself. They can't be helped anymore. I feel sorry for them. Honestly, no one gives a damn about me. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they do. Deep inside, but they are too afraid to say something. But right now, since no one is gonna help me, I'm gonna think about myself. I need to think about myself. What should be done now that there are 2 horsemen? I'm telling you, all 4 are gonna show up. No one could deal with Plague, and what will happen now that War has joined her? I'm pretty sure that War is gonna take charge and control Plague. This would be such a nice deja vu because she's doing the same to us. I noticed that recently I'd begun unconsciously blocking my own memories. I no longer thought about my father, about the pain I experienced. I didn't think about anything that could shake my determination to survive. Nothing that would throw me off balance. I promised myself that I would grieve, feel my pain, and bury my face in a pillow in hysterics, but only when everything was over. But what if death was the only thing waiting for me at the end? I was no longer afraid to die because I had already gone through that. Like Eddie said in Heaven's Secrets, you only die once. And I couldn't care less that dying again would be more painful. Living was far more terrifying. And sometimes living is much more hurtful. If you have no one that can help you, it's more painful to live. If you have no one there. There was a knock on the door, but no one entered. I'm sorry. Who is it? People, I'm wishing it's Malbonte, but I know it's not, so let me just cry, okay? I went to open it, but when I touched the handle, a voice came from the other side. Mimi! All right. Her mother told us that we should stay away from her. We're all gathered in the common room, hoping to relax a little while Plague is gone. Join us if you want. I froze, continuing to hold the handle. I don't know what's going on with you and why you're avoiding me. I won't ask questions. Just come. Please come. Please go. I feel bad for Mimi, like she must be feeling so alone. Because literally, Sammy and Addie, they're now officially together, like they can be happily ever after. Like nothing comes between them. But Mimi, even though she's immortal, she was literally sold off to Christopher. Was it Christopher? Yes, it was Christopher. And Astaroth has some beef with me and with Malbonte. Or let's just say he has beef with Malbonte and is trying to use me to get to him. And it seems to be even working because we've seen a few gel sauce moments. But the point is and remains that, like, she must be feeling so alone. I heard receding footsteps. Oh, Mimi, I'm so sorry. I returned to the window, not intending to go anywhere, but with every minute of loneliness, my anxiety intensified. Girl, you're only hurting yourself. That's what I can tell you. This is going to drive me crazy. I should just go in on wind. I began to get ready. Get dressed, girl. Yee. They all look horrible, now that I'm honest. They look all awful. I don't know. Let me just go with this. I don't know. They all look awful. I'm just gonna go with this. Maybe I should choose a different outfit. It's fine. I already paid for it. Ooh, Oh, that's cute too. Oh, that's cute too. Why so many cute hairstyles? I don't know. I like... You know what? I'm gonna go with this because I like the headpiece. Stop at this one. Oh, that's a beautiful room. When I arrived, the party was already in full swing. The students were lounging on sofas, talking loudly and laughing as if nothing had happened. There were half-empty glasses of Glyph on the table, a favorite alcoholic drink of the immortals. Nothing changed upon my arrival, but a few people looked my way and fell silent. Dino was standing with Lilo. Honestly, Mr. Fancy Yo is gonna regret this. Mr. Fancy Yo. He's gonna regret this. They were talking about something but stopped once they noticed me. Dino smiled and greeted me with a nod. Dino. I'm suffering. Oh. Why am I doing this to myself? Because I love the story. But honestly, why am I doing this to myself? Dino. That's a beautiful smile. That's a beautiful face we have. Lucifer was sitting with his arms spread across the back of the couch. Leave. Stop. Tell me that Malbonte is there and I'm gonna cry. Asti was next to him. We can see I'm very, very possessive and protective. Asti was next to him. She curled her lip in annoyance, meeting my gaze. What do you want, girl? Are you that jealous of me? Why you so obsessed with me? Girl, never heard that song before? Mimi, Addie, and Sammy were talking to Christopher. They were talking to Christopher. So perhaps I was right that Christopher is more like the angel. I approached him, trying not to look at Mimi. Poor Mimi! Like we were her best girlfriend, you know. Simona, you came. Sammy! Addie put his arm around my shoulders and whispered contently, Addie! Of course you did. We should all get drunk while we can. Honestly, Addie is my spirit animal. Go off, Addie. Dino's voice came from behind me. Dino! Plague and war are destroying the Citadel, and all you see is an excuse to drink. Everywhere, at some point in time, everywhere is happy hour. Take it from Shadowhunters. Addie gave him an offended look. Don't try to act like a saint, Angel. Aren't you the one helping the horsewoman? It's not like he has a choice. Lilo caught up with Dino and, angered by Addie's words, asked, What do you want, girl? Like you were actually just immediately ready to do it. Dino was the only one that was hesitating. I love her wings, but that's the only thing I like. Like, her attitude has literally gone to the worse. Like, I can't stand her. Since Heaven's Secret in general, I couldn't stand this woman. Perhaps it was because she was all up on my man. But she always seemed a bit fake in my eyes. Like, you know, there are two types of kind. You are kind, which is genuine. And then there are kind that you are too kind, and that's fake. And she literally is too kind. She's literally two-faced, and you can see it here. Like, look at that face. Look at that expression that she has. Aren't you on her side too? I don't think he is. He's just happy that she's leaving him alone with Sammy. No, that. Sammy squeezed Addie's hand and nervously said, Sammy, sir. Don't say that, especially not in front of everyone. What are you gonna do, snitch? You're not fighting Blake, which means you're on her side. Do you expect him to, like, throw a punch and then get himself killed immediately? Girl, are you nuts? Bad. And how does one even fight against her? It looked like Addie had drunk a lot already. Do we blame him? Like, literally, his entire friend group has gone to shit. His cheeks were flushed, either from anger or alcohol. I think it's both. If it weren't for Sammy, he probably would have lashed out. Like I said, Sammy, his saving grace. Addie, that kind of talk will get you on your knees before Blake. Watch your tongue. You are still here with that expression? That, or what? Will you tattle on us to your mistress? Mimi? Or are you getting angry? I wasn't talking to you. What is wrong with this man? You're talking about my friends. It's the same thing. Mimi, I love Mimi. Like she is me. You do not touch my friends. Let's have a drink and have some fun. Isn't that what we're all here for? Same one as right. Mimi. They plucked her wings. They literally chopped off her wings. Mimi caught my eyes for a moment, but quickly turned away. I wasn't trying to start a fight. I'm sorry if I offended you. Dino extended his hand to Addie. Oh. Addie hesitated, but still shook it. It's okay. I overreacted. Honey, we're all on edge because of that bitch, so it's fine. Sammy raised his glass over his head and said loudly, We've got enough enemies. Let's at least be friends with each other. Sammy toast was supported by loud cheers. A cheery atmosphere regained in the hall again. Addie was talking about something enthusiastically, and Dino laughed as if they had been quarreling only a few minutes ago. As if they hadn't been quarreling only a few minutes ago. They acted relaxed and happy, just as they had 10 years ago. Aww. The noticeable tipsy Astaroth bumped into a vase. I was literally asking myself when Astaroth is gonna come here, which shattered into several large fragments with a brief ringing. Oops. Okay, nice outfit and he's fine. Still a dick. Oops. And his cheeks are a little flushed, so that means he's completely... Staggering, he approached us and familiarly put his hand on my shoulder. Didn't I just say that this man is trying to start beef? I did say he was trying to start beef with Malbonte and using me for that. What are you doing here? Why do you care? I'm celebrating my heroic deed, praising my strength. That's what you would like. Astaroth, shut up. For once, I'm all here for Christopher. Oh, what? Do you know how annoying it is when you can't brag? Do you know how annoying it is to listen to you sometimes? He took a lock of my hair and painfully pulled it to his nose, loudly sniffing it. This man is a creep! Back off! I tried to break free, but he only squeezed my shoulder harder. Sooner or later, Malbonte is gonna show up and put a hand on his shoulder, squeezing it, almost breaking it, and saying, Who are you touching? Why are you squirming? That face! Did you see that facial expression? Get your hands off her, Addie. Like I said, spirit animal. Tell him. Tell him. Astaroth. Yeah, he knows. He didn't seem to hear. He brought his face closer, barely touching the tip of my nose. Sir, consent. Sir, consent. Never heard of that. He brought his face closer, barely touching the tip of my nose and whispering, his breath reeking of alcohol. I understand. You think you're so precious. Used to be a hot shot after all. I am sorry? Used to be? Ooh! Lucifer! Alright. Get away from her. She's not your toy. Ooh! Astaroth turned around, pulling me along with him. Is this man for real? Lucifer got up from the couch. He stared at Astaroth with an angry, vicious look that didn't bode well. Ooh. Lucifer, are you feeling protective of us? Honestly, I'm in love with Lucifer. Like, Lucifer is great. I already said how much I love this man last episode. He's great. And if I don't want to, then Malbonte's gonna show up as well. She's my toy. Remember? Toys should be shared. Is this bitch for real? I didn't know that he was trying to start something. Perhaps he... honestly, can I just say something? Is it possible that he cares? Not in as care. Is it possible that he likes us more than he cares to admit? Like that he's more attracted to us than he leads on? And that's just his way of showing that he wants us? No, she's mine. Woo! Sorry. He reached us in a few long strides, grabbed Astaroth by the collar and shoved him away from me. Ooh! The drunken mortal fell right into his brother's arms. Touch her again and I'll kill you. Ooh! Lucifer stood up for you. Yes. I wanted to leave. I wanted to run away and hide from everyone. Unnoticed by the others, I headed for the exit, but Astaroth shouted at me, "What do you still want?" We'll get a chance to catch up, beauty. Is this... You know what? Try me, sir. Try me. Depending on what you do, we'll see if something happens or not. You'll see who you should bow to. Oh, you want me to bow to you? Nuh-uh. Let me make you bow down on your knees and bark as well. This sounds so wrong. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that either. I am horrible. Just do not listen to anything I say. I was overcome with anger, burning hatred and disgust for the world that had turned into back on me. It's back on me. The injustice needed to be put to an end, but I couldn't do anything. Path of insufficient strength. This is so ridiculous. I didn't have the strength to fight. I didn't have the strength to pretend that I could take someone on, and therefore I had to run away. Away from prying eyes, away from ridicule, from mockery, from pity. I wanted to forget about my weakness. Where is Malbonte when you need him? One of the drunken mortals came up with the idea of playing Vaggit. Oh, right, now I remember what Vaggit was. Wasn't that crazy game where that we played back in the day to figure out each other's emotions, like our energy? Some supported the idea while others were actively against it. Lucifer was once again sprawled on the sofa in his favorite position and lazily said, "Let's play. Maybe it'll brighten up the evening." I tried to leave again, but Lucifer's voice was so loud that it was impossible not to hear. It made me stop. Yeah. Simona, you're playing too. Honestly, I think it's kind of cute. Like, I'm in love with Lucifer. I can't say anything that he does is bad. I just have to love this man. And honestly, I think he knows that we're struggling internally. Especially after we were punished by little fancy yo. And he wants to help us forget about the evening, because he probably could imagine that we were just gonna lay in bed and cry. Probably. So he's like, no, you're playing, you're staying. I'm tired and I don't want to. And why is that? Because your master said so. You want to be my master? Sir, you better teach me how to bark then. Because right now, I'm still talking words. That word made me sick to my stomach and anger burned in my veins. Temper! But while I was wearing the chains, I couldn't do anything. Sit down. Ooh! Several dozen eyes were looking at me. Oh, Stu, move over. Oh my god. Backflash to season 1 of Heaven's Secret with the party where Lucifer literally sat in between Asti and us and said there's a lot of me to go around. She can sit at your feet. Is that how things are? Asti, that's not you. Ooh! She looked at him for a few moments and then abruptly stood up and stepped aside. Yeah, Asti. Sit down. No. Lucifer impatiently patted the spot next to him. Oh, hell no. I had to obey. Of course you have to. According to the rules of Vaggett, the players had to look into each other's eyes and search for a memory of an important event. If one succeeded, the other would owe them a wish. Addy finished his glyph and sat down on the arm of the sofa, playfully twisting his glass in his hands. Let's split into pairs. Who will be with whom? He looked at Astaroth shrewdly. I'm with you. He wants to get into his mind and try to see their secrets. Well done, Addy. Fine. Well, I mean, it's not like he can do much about it now since he's completely wasted. Astaroth, you're drunk. I'll play with you, Addy. Woo! You know, as everyone who decided to participate in the game faced each other. I looked in front of me at Mimi, then at Sammy and Addy. Lucifer turned to me, but I tried to ignore him. Nah, he's gonna say you're playing with me. Then he poured glyph into 2 glasses and handed one to me. That. I looked at him. Relax, it's just a game. That's what you think. Maybe I don't want you in my head. Ooh! I'll go first. I won't resist. You can see whatever you want. Is that how things are? Why would he do that? Does he want to win my trust? I think he wants us to see something specific. That's why he was like, I won't hesitate, so you can see whatever you want. It doesn't mean that we can delve into his past, but he wants us to see something, perhaps something that Plague once said to him. I took the glass from his hands and had a couple of sips. A fiery haze filled my head, and my muscles stiffened from tension before quickly succumbing to nearly instant intoxication. Fine. Lucifer and I turned to each other. I noticed a quick glance directed behind me. Turning around, I saw Asti watching us with tense indignation. Beat it. Beat it. Simona, look at me. Oh, I'm always looking at you. I returned my gaze to Lucifer. His red eyes looked into mine so intently that for a moment I was afraid he was trying to get into my head. Go ahead. I drank the glyph in one gulp, choked and gulped. Don't be afraid, I won't bite. Not unless I want to. Let me stop. Sit still. Lucifer looked at me without averting his eyes. It was distracting and nerve-wracking, but I tried to push aside any unnecessary thoughts and peered into his mind. He opened all the locks, all the doors for me, and I was free to wander the dark corners of his memory. I saw everything. Next choice will improve both your friendship and romantic relationship. In vivid detail. All right then. Even when I was little, my father cultivated hatred in me for the unclaimed, for all weak immortals, and for those who were lower in rank. In the end, the only good thing left in me was my love for my mother, Lilith. We're learning about his mother? I often went to her chambers when my father was gone. Aww. We lay on the bed as she stroked my hair and told me about wonderful animals that lived on mysterious islands, about the clans of immortals, about everything as far removed from hell and father as possible. One time I snuck into her room and tiptoed onto the bed, but it turned out to be empty. Mom? Aww. I rocked around the bed carefully, looked behind the screen and saw her bent over a handful of ashes. She was crying as someone's ashes ran through her fingers. Plague got his mother. We do remember... I don't know if you remember, but I do remember a plague introduced us to a woman, and that was her. And I was like, who is that? It's his mother. Stop! Do you have any idea what that would do to him? I killed him, son. I didn't mean to. Who did you kill, Mom? She lowered her hand and stared blankly at the wall. I don't know. The servant. Why? Mom looked at me. She couldn't tell me where my husband was. She started crying again. I sat down next to her, holding her head against my chest. It's okay, Mommy. It's okay. No, Lucifer! No! I can't see him cry. No! Mom was a good-natured demon, but after my birth, she was consumed by depression. Oh, girl. Let's sit down and have a cup of tea together, as ordinary mortals call it. She tried to commit suicide. Wow. Sometimes she had outbursts of anger which ended in the murder of another servant, and then she would sob regretting it. Yeah, impulsive. Everything will be fine, Mom. Lucifer. In the end, Father hid Mom away from everyone, and even I didn't know where she was and could no longer see her. No. Tell me, Father, where is she? Please, I want to see her. Leathers with a bad influence on you. You've become a disgrace. Ah, Satan, you are a disgrace. Dad, please. No, Lucifer. I knelt before him. No! No! Please. No! How dare you humiliate yourself like this? How dare you be a piece of shit? He got up from the throne, and his voice, deafeningly loud, made me cower in fear. Get out, you brat! And you die again! Like we all want things! When my father was killed, the servants told me, as his hair, where my mom was. Oh my God. She was standing and looking out the window when I entered. I was overcome with emotion, seeing her just the same as I remembered her. I felt joy, I felt anger, and hatred for my father. Yeah, I felt suffocating longing and regret. No, Lucifer! No! I'm breaking. Mom? She slowly turned to me. A faint smile appeared on her lips. Mom recognized me, but it seemed like we had seen each other only 5 minutes ago. She wasn't even surprised to see me. How are you? Mom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he would be asking, how are you? I ran up to her, squeezed her icy hands, and looked into her eyes, but her gaze was empty, lifeless. Do you remember me? What did he do to you? That, though! You're so loud. A little nervously, but not without tenderness, she threw off my hands and wandered to the bed. She gently lay on her side and closed her eyes. Mom? Lucifer! I want to sleep, Lucifer. Go to your father. You actually want him to go to his father? I would visit her from time to time, but I soon stopped. After our meetings, something inside me seemed to change, and I felt a powerful dull rage. She was no longer my mother. I didn't want to lose my memories of her wonderful voice and thoughtful, kind eyes. It hurt me too much to see her like that. And then I died. The pain faded, and the memory of her disappeared, just like the story of my life. Oblivion. Sometimes there's nothing better. When plague came, she quickly learned about Lila's situation and realized there would be good leverage against me. That's why he can't say no to anything she says. She revived me and my father, and Lila standing next to her was the first one we noticed. What a wonderful creatures you are. This she-devil is full of burning despair. You have done your best. What do you want? For you to be obedient. Let her go. I was ready to turn into a monster, destroy the entire building, and throw myself at her, even at the cost of my own life. But Father intervened. What does this piece of shit want? Don't be stupid. Shut the fuck up, sir. Why are you even here? Do what she says. No. Let my mother go. I won't touch a boy, if you do what I say. Father knelt and lowered his head, but his shoulders shook with self-loathing. You can't hate yourself for what you're doing. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we appreciate that face? We will do whatever you command. I followed his example. I looked eyes with my mother, and I seemed to catch a glimpse of awareness. Look at that face. I'll save you, Mom. This time I'll help you. Lucifer. You got to know better, Lucifer. This vision broke me. The vision disappeared and I saw Lucifer again. Only then did I realize how close our faces were. Ooh! He whispered. Did you see? Like I said, I'm so good. Like he was like, you're playing the game. I want you to see something. I'm pretty sure that he directed us to that memory. I pulled away and looked thoughtfully at my hands. Now I see why he did all this. So she's your mother. Yes. Why did you show me this? Why now? Because he never had the chance. Plague is always on his tail. Lucifer moved closer and whispered in your ear. You know the answer to that question. That! Is he in the order of the resistance too? Stop. But what if he's not? I'd better not mention it directly. I turned to face him and her lips almost touched you. I want Malbonte to show up. I want to hear it from you. Lucifer smirked. My cheeks began to burn from his proximity and I turned away. If you don't see me as an enemy, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to help each other. Not the smile. Are you asking me to trust you? We started talking in whispers. It made our conversation feel incredibly intimate. I mean, if we consider how close you are sitting. Yes, that's what I'm asking. No, did we see that smirk? Did we see that smirk? He moved even closer. Oh god, people, I started something I can't finish. His lips touched my neck lightly and his breath burnt my skin. What are you? Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Honestly, Malbonte is not here. He's leaving me alone. Let him kiss you, you know what? Let him kiss you. Are we gonna let him? You know what? Yes. Just to make it a little more dramatic. What are you? Let him kiss you. Let him kiss you. You know what? Let him kiss you. I closed my eyes and barely tilted my head, exposing my neck. Lucifer froze and tensed up. For a split second, I was frightened. I didn't know why, but a moment later, I heard a velvet whisper. I don't want to hurt you. Lucifer, I already know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't worry. He slowly kissed my neck. His lips closed and parted again. I moaned softly, opened my eyes, and looked around the hall with blurred vision. No one seemed to notice us. Lucifer pulled away, and I immediately looked at him. Was that all? It suddenly felt cold and empty without his breath on my skin. But Lucifer caught my lips again with a quick sensual touch. Just a few seconds, that's how long it lasted. Hasty, hungry, desperate. So that no one would notice, so that no one would find out. And at the same time, it was full of danger and recklessness. When Lucifer pulled away, a look of surprise on his face, I touched my lips in confusion. They were wet from his kiss. He looked at my fingers. I'm sorry, but I'm feeling this insane chemistry right now, this intensity. What is that face? That face. Not Sifa. You won't forget this kiss. Lucifer looked around as I had done before and suddenly extended his hand, put it on my knee, and squeezed it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Technically, it was my choice. Bitter devastation squeezed my chest, but Lucifer added in a whisper, out here, not in front of everyone. Wow. Now that's... Honestly, that's a lustful gaze. Look at this face. He got up, finished his glyph, and said, see you later. Wow, Lucifer. He knows how to leave someone high and dry. And then he approached Asti. Bitch, are you for real? From the look on her face, I could tell she saw everything, but there was no hatred in her eyes. Asti looked helpless and lost in thought. I suddenly realized that she wasn't into Lucifer and wouldn't compete with me. What connected them then? They headed for the exit. I continued to sit on the couch, not daring to move. My body felt frozen like a wax statue. Lucifer had scrooged me and disappeared, and now I had to slowly, painfully cool down, remembering his burning touch. It took about 10 minutes before I could move. I covered my face with my hands and quietly murmured into my palms. Oh, Sifa, help me. What am I doing? I looked around for Sammy, Addie, and Mimi. I couldn't find the guys, but Mimi was talking about something with Christopher. It seems like these two are actually getting along. Or is it just me? She looked relaxed and even pleased. I decided not to disturb her and quietly disappeared into the hallway. Where is my soulmate Malbonte? I slowly walked along, feeling the rough texture of the wall with my hand. Disturbing thoughts swarmed in my head. Blake is blackmailing Satan and Lucifer. She managed to bring even the most rebellious into line. That explains why they've sided with Blake and follow her instructions so obediently. But what about the others? Is she blackmailing Dino and Fenzio too? I stopped near Blake's office. The horse woman wasn't back yet. It was my chance. I cautiously opened the door, and Malbonte is inside. The room didn't look messy as it had last time. The scattered books had disappeared, and there were no scribble notes on the table. And yet I got the impression that this appearance of order was meant to obscure what I was looking for. I went to the desk, checked every drawer, and found only a single piece of paper. It was written in clumsy handwriting. What's the benefit, friend or foe? What could that mean? A portrait of the three horsemen was hanging on the wall. Their features were barely distinguishable. A dart was stuck in each of them, but Plague had disfigured only the last one. It seemed like she'd used the tip of a blade to scratch the entire image. They don't seem to have the warmest relationship. Huh? Ooh! Their consent isn't required. Just find them. So Malbonte did go with her. Oh, I am so mad. That won't be a problem. Malbonte. Ooh, Malbonte. I rushed around the office in a panic. I could feel Malbonte's approach on my skin and Plague's power, which grew with every step they took, pressing down on me like gravity. I need to leave. I opened the door and looked out into the hallway. Their footsteps echoed from around the corner, and it was clear they were about to catch up with me. What should I do? Return to the office? Stay where you are? Toward the sound of the footsteps. I closed the door and looked around. Are you kidding me? There's nowhere to hide. The only option was to hide under the desk. I had to pull my legs close and wrap my wings around my body, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. All that was left was to wait. The door opened. The carpet muffled the sound of Plague's heels, and I flinched when I saw her feet in front of me. She froze. I tried not to breathe. She's gonna catch me. For a moment, I hoped they wouldn't notice me and might leave after a while, but then came the sound of her unnerving, oily voice. Get out. She found me. You've been spotted. Try again. Okay, at least we can do it again. I opened the door. Okay, you know what? Go toward the sound of the footsteps, honestly. Like, I hurried out into the corridor and walked towards those I least wanted to see. I'll pretend I was passing by. Soon they appeared at the end of the hallway. When I drew even with them, I quickened my pace just barely, but Malbonte grabbed my clothes, forcing me to stop. What? What are you doing here? I'm walking. I was passing by. Oh, my little one, you don't know how to lie at all. You've been caught, try again. How is it possible to win here? Like, we can't stay in there, but we can't walk towards them at all? I'll run away? I don't know. I closed the door behind me and ran as fast as I could. When Malbonte and Plague turned down the hallway, I had already slipped around the corner. I leaned against the wall, trying to catch my breath. I did it. Right. I carefully peeked around the corner and my gaze crossed Malbonte's. He felt my energy. Of course he does. Plague was talking incessantly, and even if she felt my energy, she didn't seem to react or give it any importance. But if Malbonte noticed me, he'd say something. Hey, are you listening to me? He shifted his gaze back to Plague. Yes. Right. The worst woman entered the office, following her. Malbonte tightly closed the door. He didn't tell her. I began to tremble and sank to the floor to calm my nerves. That was close. Honestly, this woman is taking my man. I do not like that. Honestly, I would hope for him to just come in the middle of the night and say that was incredibly stupid. The room was dark, but I noticed him as soon as I entered. What? I was startled and clung to the door. What are you doing here? Oh, Lucifer. Lucifer sat on the edge of the bed and held some kind of jewelry in his hands. I'm sorry. The moonlight outlined his haggard silhouette and illuminated half of his pensive face. She gave this to me before Father took her away. She knew it would be a long time before she saw me again. Lucifer got up and walked over to me, still not looking up from the jewelry in his hands. She has the exact same one. She said they would bind our souls, that she'll always be there. Finally, he looked up at me, put the pendant in his pocket, and quietly asked, Do you think she lied? Lucifer! My heart is breaking. My heart is breaking for this man. Lucifer, why are you here? He raised his hand as if he wanted to touch me, but instead clenched his fingers into a fist and turned away. Uh-oh. Like I said, I started something I can't finish. He went to the window and began to examine the view. I took a few steps toward him. Are you on Plague's side, or are you just pretending? That's what you really want to know. What do you think I want to know? The smile. He turned to me. Am I on your side or against you? I mean, I know he's not against us, but apparently she's dense. So tell her. And? Just because I'm against everyone doesn't mean I'm against you. He told us that in season 3. I mean, when you his rude, he tells you that, but... Lucifer. He impulsively rushed to me and, pulling me close by the waist, whispered, Tychus, don't say it was a mistake. Oh, I knew I started something I can't finish. I don't want to be against you, Simona. I don't want to have you against me too. Why now? What changed? He ran his finger along my cheekbone and looked into my eyes. I started something. I've changed. Circumstances can make you change, so I understand. Lucifer pressed his forehead against mine. This is such a romantic moment. Like he's actually confiding in us, you know. We tilted our heads, our lips came a little closer. Then we froze, not allowing our emotions to overtake our minds. Lucifer was breathing heavily, his warm breath rolling over my face. What am I doing? I can't. Ooh, Lucifer, kiss me. Oh, I can't do that because that's a romantic choice. I can see it on the 153 ones. I could pay for that, but no, I can't. I'm so sorry for the Lucifer fans, and I'm sorry for myself as well because I would love to take it. But this is the Malbonte version. Like, if I'm starting something with Lucifer, like, oh god, I feel so bad. You're right, we need to stop. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm suffering right now too, but I can't. Like, this is a romantic option. Lucifer pulled away and took a deep breath, trying to compose himself, then nodded. Okay. He seemed relieved. I'll go to my room. Good night. Without meeting my eyes, he squeezed my hand and hurried out of the bedroom. I watched the closed door, feeling a lump rising in my throat. But why? Yeah, because I started something I can't finish. The next day, Plague summoned Lucifer and me so that she could boast about her victories. I wondered why she needed his toy for that. Because she seems to be infatuated with us. War was sitting on the couch, arms stretched across its back, wearing a satisfied grin. He's fine, like I said. He silently sipped Glyph and listened to his sister's words. We've destroyed the Citadel. We wiped out everyone in power. Malbonte stood at the window thinking about something. He didn't seem to care about the most recent events. I felt like a tiny, insignificant insect next to the two horsemen. Their energy filled the whole space. I wonder if Lucifer and Malbonte also feel uncomfortable around them, or do they have enough strength to not choke on someone else's energy? Congratulations, mistress. It was quite entertaining, even though war is not my thing. However, there has been enough desperation. War stirred, drawing Plague's attention. Looking over her shoulder at her brother, she added, And hate, of course. She walked around the table and sitting down on it conspiratorially suggested seeing it with her own eyes. What is this supposed to be? Like some sort of memory that we can see what she did back then? You know what? Let's see it. Seeing it with our own eyes. I'll show you. She touched our foreheads. The room instantly disappeared, and instead the structure of the Citadel was erected, brick by brick, in the space of a few seconds. Okay, girl. Show me what you got. Oh, wow. The Citadel. Heaven's capital. Oh, God. A blazing fire devoured the spires and the roof, and mortals fled from the doors, which had been thrown wide. Some immediately soared up, while others with scorched wings tried to vanish from sight on foot. The councillors' corpses were laid out in a row in front of the entrance. Plague stood on one of their chests, then walked atop the others, as if their bodies were her own personal red carpet. She laughed at the looks of the surviving Citadel workers. Oh, honestly, that version is insanely good. Oh, what's the matter? Are you feeling helpless? Are you hoping Aragon will save you? I want to see your faces when he becomes just another stepping stone for you. Plague looked up to the sky, where War was fighting the former chief counselor. Has he a different face as well? You know, a different form. Aragon, though weakened by torture and starvation, was holding up too well. And even though he didn't have the dark power that lurked in the gloomy half-breed helping War's sister, the angel was strong. War threw back his head and satisfied breathed in the frosty air. He'd even taken on his second form to make the battle with Aragon more enjoyable, yes. Wow. Their forms are insane. Yeah, good. I was afraid it'd be boring. Aragon flapped his wings unevenly. It looked like he was running out of strength.
You're obviously flattering me. You fight me at half strength, horseman. Oh, because I'm in different shell. Only because I'm in a different shell, my friend. I haven't taken this form in a long time. Take this gesture as a compliment.
War suddenly threw his sword from its scabbard, gripped the hilt, and waved the blade in the air as if trying it out.
I don't understand why you still call them mortals. My brother took this gift from you. You can kill yourself, and you can kill others. Your strength diminishes every century until the moment it is finally exhausted. Is this immortality? You haven't been what you think you are for ages. If you're one of the strongest here, then who should I fight after your death?
War rushed towards Aragon. The angel dodged, darted behind the horseman just as quickly, and hurled a ball of pure energy at him.
You talk too much for someone who likes to fight.
Aragon. War laughed.
You're right.
The sword in his hand seemed to take on a life of its own. It would fly off into the distance and like a boomerang return to its owner. And it could change its trajectory, chasing its target or retreating. Meanwhile, War was battering Aragon, preventing him from using the trick that had allowed him to dodge so quickly again. The horseman enjoyed fist fighting, but his blows were inhumanly strong, capable of crushing bones with a fleeting touch. Aragon wasn't at his best and could no longer resist War. At some point, he stopped defending himself and, putting his hand forward, began to cough up blood.
Is that all? You can take more. The more I resist, the stronger you become. Are you giving up? I'll never give up, horseman.
Aragon spread his arms out to his sides, then folded his wings and let gravity pull him down.
Hey!
War didn't want to let Aragon fall and end things so easily, so he rushed after the angel. He grabbed him by the chest.
We're not done yet. I won't fight anymore.
Aragon's face was calm, almost grateful. There was no rage, no hatred. There was nothing in it that the horseman needed. And so War let him go. War watched Aragon plummeting, hoping that he'd spread his wings and try to escape, but the angel didn't so much as twitch, rapidly approaching the ground. After some time, War looked away and grinned.
If you didn't give up, you won't die from the fall, Aragon. We'll meet again.
He returned to Plague. Plague stood on the bridge leading to the city and watched the capital burn. She had already brought despair to that place, but in terms of war, her brother was a master. He knew how to push agony to its limit, and how to bring out the worst. The immortals were killing each other in their attempts to escape, blinded by their hatred for the horsemen. They didn't understand what they were doing. They'd exhausted all their strength, yet it hadn't even allowed them to reach the horsemen, who stood at a distance and watched everything from the side.
This isn't my favorite part. Why? You're the one who did this to them. I'd rather be involved than just to watch others fight. We have more important things to do. We're going to the Midges bar. Malbonte is already waiting for us.
Oh, I hate her. I hate her. When the horsemen arrived, many patrons had already left the bar or were crowding at the exit. Only the daredevils and drunkards remained inside, unfazed by the general panic.
How did you find this place? The immortals kept it well hidden from us. This bar has been around for a long time. I've heard about it.
Seeing the horseman and Malbonte, everyone parted, revealing Mammon, who was sitting at the table. Mammon! He was drinking lift, but the mug froze halfway to his lips when he saw the visitors.
So we meet again.
Plague, swaying her hips, walked to his table. With a creak, she pulled a chair back and, turning it towards her, straddled it. Mammon set his mug aside and nodded to the bartender to pour one for the guests.
Why did you hide from me for so long?
Oh, Mammon!
I wanted to enjoy the second chance I was given.
And you didn't even come to thank me.
No. I decided that a self-assured creature like yourself had no need of praise.
Mammon glanced at Warren Malbonte, who approached the table. He has some beef with Malbonte. The horseman instantly appreciated the demon's strength. He seemed interested, but after fighting Aragon, not as much as he'd normally be.
I have your daughter. I know.
Ooh!
I need you to go down to Earth to seduce people with riches and drive them into frenzy.
No.
You could bring the entire human world to its knees and drive them mad. That's within your power. Why won't you do it?
Because he won't let himself be manipulated, I'd say.
I did exactly as much as Harmony required.
Harmony?
And where is it now? Don't you want to regain your former strength?
The bartender brought a few more mugs, his shaking hands spilling almost half of the glyph. Along with the drinks, he brought a knife for Mammon. The demon put it on the table, but kept his open palm on it. Malbonte. Malbonte already knows.
Do you really think this toothpick will save you?
Not him saying this toothpick.
We can't be killed by that.
Mammon drank the content of his mug and set it on the table with a thud.
I've thought about what to do for a long time. There's no point fighting you in battle. I'll lose. But going over to your side, I don't want to play such games.
I'm pretty sure he's just gonna stab himself. He gripped the tilt of the knife. Blake leaned back in her chair and smiled.
Come on, try to stick it in my heart. Who knows, maybe I'll die.
He's gonna stick it in his, right?
Do you have a...
Oh, Mammon. I loved him. I loved him in season 2 of Heaven's Secret. Oh my god, he has become more iconic. Do you... Oh my god. That's a burn plague. Do you need an ice pack for that?
Do you have a heart?
Good boy. At least she has humor.
Of course, a mirror knife cannot kill the horseman. But it's not for you.
The face! It's for him. Yeah. Mammon turned the blade swiftly, and before Plague or War realized his intent, jammed it into his heart. I knew it. I hate myself. Why am I like this? Why am I so good? And fell forward on the table. Let me think that Malbonte is a little shook by this. The mugs intended for the horseman toppled, glyph ran across the table and dripped on the floor. The bartender dropped the tray of drinks. Someone screamed.
What kind of cowardice is this? Wanna defend me? They're exhausting me, sister.
War. Malbonte silently sent a stream of black energy into Mammon. He collapsed like a rag doll. There was a hole in his chest. Malbonte! Look at his face!
Just in case. That's right, pup. We don't want him to wake up in a couple of hours, do we?
I'm sorry. Honestly, I hate Plague with a passion, but she has this. You know what? There are those people that are just iconic. They literally can say everything, and they are slaying doing that. And I think Plague has that. Like, she's iconic. She's iconic. But honestly, Malbonte's face actually surprised me. Like, it seemed like a mixture of annoyance and concern. Like, it seemed like he was actually sad. Plague moved aside and squinted at the demon's corpse.
That's so weird. What exactly? I didn't anticipate his actions. I tried to look into his head, and I didn't see his intentions to kill himself. I only saw thoughts about Mimi.
Yeah, because he's worried about Mimi.
To hell with all this.
That's a shame, Mammon. I really wanted to have fun with you. They got up and left the Metis bar. The Angels and Demons Academy. The vision that Plague showed dissipated, and the office reappeared before my eyes. I staggered. I couldn't get enough air. It can't be. Mammon wouldn't leave Mimi. He wouldn't leave her, but he killed himself because he saw no other way. There's always more than one way, my dear. Simona, you're so pale. What's the matter? Didn't you tell us where to look for Mammon? If it weren't for you, who knows? Maybe he'd still be in hiding. A voice came from behind me. Say it's not true. Mimi! My abdomen twisted with pain and guilt. I turned around. Mimi. Say it's not true. The mother told us to tell her. And we can't say that the mother did it, so it's on us. It's true. It was necessary. What are the options? Oh my god. Honestly, not even sorry. Sorry's not gonna cut it. But she's like, tell me it's not true. It's true. Mimi blinked in confusion, and the tears that had gathered on her eyelashes flowed down her cheeks. Why? Why, Simona? Mimi lashed out at me, but Lucifer stepped between us and took the blow. She hit him and screamed, taking her anger out on him until her strength left her, and she went limp in his arms.
I'll take her to her room.
Of course. That was a lovely show, Mimi.
Plague. Put your tongue back inside. Mimi. As the door closed behind them, I let out a quiet sob, barely holding myself together. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
I understand it's unpleasant to suffer for your sins, but you know, there are advantages.
And what kind of advantages?
Since you helped us, I've decided to entrust you with something. As a former counselor, you must pledge your support of the horsemen before all of the immortals and urge them to submit. And Malbonte will keep an eye on you.
Of course, Malbonte is now keeping an eye on me.
Simona?
Fine.
That's wonderful. You don't look well. You don't want to be seen like this, do you? Go rest. You depart tomorrow.
Nice. So we're leaving tomorrow with Malbonte. Plague looked pleased and seemed to be blossoming. The more we suffered, the better she felt, of course. I slowly wandered to the door. Worrell looked at me, seemingly for the first time. He had pretended that I didn't exist before, but apparently his sister's attention made him notice me.
Hey, you.
What? Yes, master. Not calling him master.
How could you rule if you have no power?
My entire power was taken away. I couldn't help laughing and just continued on.
Leave her. I still need her.
The door closed, silencing their voices. I have no power anymore because your sister took it away from me. I only wanted two things, to sleep and to die. That's funny. Same. Oh, God. Oh, the episode is still going, okay? Malbonte was waiting at the gates of the academy. He looked at me up and down and, raising one eyebrow, asked,
Are you going like that?
You want me to change? I looked down at my outfit. Yesterday I fell asleep without bothering to undress. And I'd woken up when I had to leave. I was exhausted and spent, and the last thing I wanted to think about was appearances. We're in a hurry, aren't we? Malbonte once again threw a glance at me, and without saying a word flew into the sky. I swallowed hard. We were going to spend half a day together, and I didn't know what he had in mind. Did he wish to kill me, or would he continue looking at me with that same icy look that gave me goosebumps? The sooner we start, the sooner it'll be over. I spread my wings and tried to catch up with Malbonte. I could barely more freely in the boundless sky. It was illusory freedom. The clouds beckoned me to rush away and hide among them. Several times I was overcome by compulsive urges to fly as far away as possible while I had the chance. I met Malbonte's inquisitive gaze.
Don't even think about it.
Thought about it. Did you read my mind? He doesn't have to.
I can't anymore.
What do you mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
We're almost there. Let's go down.
And again, without waiting for me, he disappeared from sight. Sir! Malbonte was so confident that he wasn't afraid to leave me unattended. That wasn't surprising. With his skills and my powerlessness, the outcome of any escape attempt was a foregone conclusion. I landed on the central square. Heaven's capital. To my dismay, many immortals had gathered. They waited in anticipation of our speech. It looks like they've been warned. Nobody shouted, nobody tried to throw tomatoes at us, and nobody asked questions. Dozens of dim, desperate eyes were fixed on us. They'd come to be certain that there was no hope left after all. Hope died with Sifa. It'd be foolish to think otherwise, but there's still hope. There is still hope. There's always hope. You're coping with despair and suppressing it. There's always hope. Somewhere there's always hope. Malbonte nudged me forward.
They're waiting.
They're also waiting for your sorry ass, yet you're not moving. I straightened my back, took a deep breath, and I straightened my back, took a deep breath, as I always had before speeches during my time governing, and stepped toward the audience. Path of composure. These are difficult times. You're scared and exhausted, and you don't know what will happen tomorrow. However, I urge you to be reasonable. Be careful. Immortals have faced greater hardships. Our rulers have changed. So show wisdom and accept this truth. My throat was dry and my tongue resisted the vile lies, but I had to add, like I have. My voice didn't betray the weakness and guilt that I felt. I seemed calm and collected, like someone who knew what they were talking about, but it was all a lie, from beginning to end. I had to muster all my willpower not to turn away from those pleading eyes. Emotions won't help anything right now. A deathly silence followed me down the stairs. The residents of the capital parted, not even trying to argue with us, until one of them shouted, "We'll never put up with this." Then one of Plague's puppets bounced on the dissident and began biting at his flesh like a zombie. Sir! I turned toward the screams of the immortal, but Malbonte turned me back and pushed me from behind so that I wouldn't stop. We walked without slowing down. Where are we going?
If you're talking about an ultimate goal, there isn't one.
We left so quickly.
If we had stayed longer, our ride would have broken out. They only looked weak-willed.
I barely feel any energy in those shackles. I thought for a while and attentively added, I didn't think you'd be afraid of a ride. You could destroy them all in one fell swoop.
That's right.
Malbonte abruptly grabbed my hand and pulled me along into an alley. I'm sorry? Sir. Sir. He pinned me to a wall. Hey!
Look at me.
No. This seems like an important moment, but I can't. I can't with the fact that he's always glued on Plague's ass. I really can't. Malbonte's jet black eyes were trying to trap me. He wants to get into my head. I closed my eyes, but Malbonte squeezed my shoulders tighter and repeated in a commanding tone devoid of any emotion.
Look at me.
What do you want? Do you want to see the kiss between me and Lucifer? I had to obey. I braced myself for him to burst into my consciousness as he did when Plague was around, the way the horsewoman did. He trampled every memory he came across, but there was no pain. I felt Malbonte sorting through images from the past, but carefully like a forensic scientist at a crime scene, so as not to damage the evidence. I looked into his eyes, afraid that so much as blinking might anger him. My gaze unconsciously drifted to his lips, always and forever, so sensual and strong. Did those lips kiss the one they loved? Did they know true tenderness? Could Malbonte be gentle at all? I know. without any ulterior motive, just to bring someone pleasure and convey love through this touch. I fought him. I thought he was a monster. I believed that. So why am I forgetting about all that now? Am I that lonely? I don't think so. Malbonte abruptly recoiled from me. He heard my thoughts. That's so embarrassing. Malbonte didn't comment on them and only said,
They did a great job on you.
"What are you talking about?"
I wanted to check something to make sure.
Can you fill me in on the details?
Not my job.
Is this because Plague couldn't find information about the Order of Resistance? Was someone able to hide my memories?
What are you thinking about?
Nothing. Can't you read me?
Some of your thoughts are close to me now.
I opened my mouth to ask something, but I felt like I was pinned to the wall again. It didn't touch me, and there was still enough distance between us to slip away. But I didn't stand a chance against his almost magnetic power.
And yet I heard your thoughts about my lips.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hold that. I couldn't hold that in. It's not like that. It is like that.
Are you ashamed of your feelings?
She is, I'm not.
They're a sign of weakness, Simona.
Stop being so pissed, sir. You're dreaming about me just as much as I am about you. Don't lie. Do you despise me for it?
No.
Then why are you complaining? He touched my chin, but more like an observer than a lover. He looked at my facial features, and his eyes lingered on my lips. Exactly that. What are you doing?
I want to test a theory.
No. He moved closer and slightly opened his mouth. I trembled from the smell of his skin and his proximity. Why does everyone want to kiss me in this episode? Every cell in my body responded to his seething power and his strength. The void I felt inside me longed to be filled with the energy he had taken from me. What should I do? Yes! The long-awaited kiss. Let him kiss you. An agonizing desire to let him kiss me won over the voice of reason. I closed my eyes and tilted my head slightly towards him. Malbonte immediately took advantage of that and pressed his lips to mine, roughly and unceremoniously. I leaned against the wall. Oh my god. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. Oh, he looks fine. No, stop. The cold, wet stones made me shiver. Malbonte grabbed my waist and put his hand between my back and the wall. The warmth emanating from his palm enveloped my entire being. It got hot. I couldn't hold back a soft moan and immediately blushed, cursing my own lack of willpower and wounded pride. Why? This has nothing to do with pride. This has to do with feelings. You'll like this man. But Malbonte's lips refused to let me go. He took my hands and put them on his shoulders. Wow. You became closer. Well, thank you for that. I held the back of his neck and pressed close against him. I felt nauseous from all the questions, from the intimacy, and from the fact that I held that monster in my arms. He's not a monster! Stop calling him that. I hate you for calling my soulmate like that. And then he slowly raised his head. No, stay here. Stay here. That's funny. First, he looked at my lips, flushed from our kiss, then our eyes met. The fact he's just silent, all the magic dissipated, leaving the ugly reality. It shouldn't have happened. It should have happened. What have I done? What I wanted you to do. You did what I wanted you to do. Silence. Malbonte took a few steps back. He was no longer touching me, and I felt small and insignificant under his attentive gaze. Why did you kiss me? Why did you kiss back? Malbonte tilted his head in one direction, then the other without taking his eyes off me. Why won't you say anything? He's conflicted with his own emotions, girl. Leave him a few seconds. He answered as if he was stating a fact that had nothing to do with him.
Play can see her kiss if she wants to.
Of course she can. She sees everything. That's funny. Same though, Malbonte. Malbonte chuckled.
Not everything.
Ooh! Yeah, he can block minds, right? That's something I was thinking about. She said that perhaps it was possible that someone blocked her mind in order that Plague couldn't see the order of resistance. And we know that Malbonte looked into our minds first. Is it possible that he closed that memory off unconsciously so that Plague wouldn't notice? She can't read my mind about the order, but anything other than that she can see. But how is that possible? He closed it! I'm pretty sure he closed it! Strength. My flow of thoughts was interrupted when I saw Malbonte looking at my lips. Oh, thank you. Want to kiss me again? Me too, come here. Let me stop. You've realized some things and now you feel safer. But before I had time to react, he turned around and said,
We have to go.
No, we can stay here a little longer. I leaned against the wall, wrestling with my emotions. He kissed me to see which of my memories were readable and which weren't. And like an idiot, I let him do it. Malbonte isn't capable of human feelings. He is capable of feelings. I can't stand when she says it like that, but I do understand that she's hurt. I mean, if he doesn't give her closure, of course she's gonna think about that first. He only does what suits him. Everything is calculated. He's too cruel to succumb to emotion. Malbonte stopped abruptly. He can hear your thoughts, girl. Did he just read my mind? Nah, he couldn't have. He wasn't even looking at me.
I felt your energy.
But how did you...
I've been watching you. I don't need to read your mind to guess what you're thinking.
That. He went on.
Let's go.
I followed him, filled with the clear realization that I'd sold my soul to the devil. Stop being so dramatic. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This was episode 6 of Heaven's Secret 2, and that was worth the wait. That was worth the wait. Finally, we kissed. We finally kissed. So now I'm intrigued to find out what happens in episode 7. We learned a little about Lucifer's childhood. My heart broke. And I think I started with him something I can't finish. And yeah, apparently Christopher and Mimi get along well. And Astaroth is still trying us. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. I hope you enjoyed this. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.